Good morning, everybody. So, as we know that we are studying at present physical properties of metals. In last classes, already we have been discussed four physical properties of metals already. First one is metals are malleable. Next one is metals are ductile. And the third property, what is that, Arvind? Metals are good conductors of heat. And the fourth property is metals are good conductors of electricity. Till there we have been studied. Now coming to the fifth property of metals, metals are lustrous. So what do you mean by lustrous? They are having a shiny surface, or they are used to appear very bright in nature, or else lustrous in nature. That is what we can call it as looks shiny. And also if they become dull, again we can polish them, so they will get back to shiny surface. That is what the fifth physical property of metals. So let us see. Metals are lustrous means in the sense of, what do you mean by metals are lustrous? They are they have shiny surface. They have a shining surface. That is the meaning of lustrous. Is it yes, guys? For example, if we'll take the best shining surface metal, what is that, guys? Gold. If we'll take gold as well as silver, as well as and copper, if we'll take. So these all are having what? Gold, silver, and copper. They are shiny metals. They are called as shiny metals. And also you can see gold, silver, copper, and these all the things, they can be polished. Is it yes or no, guys? Please respond me. Yes or no? Yes. So the property of this metal, which is having a shiny nature or lustrous in nature, that is what we should call it as metallic luster. What is this property is known as? This property of having shining surface is called as metallic luster. What we should call, guys? Metallic lusters, because metals having this shining surface, that is why we should call it as metallic luster. Also we can say in our Hindi, means our Indian language, we can say chamak. What we should call it? Chamak. Understand? Chimki you may be heard. Correct or not? Marriages and all, Muslims they will use more chimki for shining. Have you noticed it? Face and all, if will apply, it is used to reflect light even more brighter. Is it Esra? Respond me, Nitinath, Pranita, Tarani. That is called. So the property of shining surface of metals is called as what? Metallic luster. Understand? Ra? So the shiny appearance of metals, because of this shiny appearance only, you maybe know that these metals are, for example, if we'll take gold and silver, we are using in manufacturing something. What is that? Anybody? Akhil Irfan, Yalni, can you say what we are using? For what purpose we are using that? To manufacture, because of this shiny appearance. Please respond me. Where we are using gold and silver and etc. etc. Please respond, Ra. Making
jewels.
Making jewelry. Very good, Nitina. Yeah. Making jewelry, or we can say ornaments, decorative pieces. That is what you have to understand. So they are very, very bright in nature. So that is the reason we are using them in making jewelry and as well as decoration pieces. Decoration pieces. Now, for example, if you take which metals we are using majorly in making jewelries, anybody? Which metals we are using making jewelries?
Gold, silver, and platinum.
And also see, yeah, if you'll observe very carefully, gold, you may be heard 22 karat gold and 24 karat gold. Have you heard? Yes or no? 24 karat. So 24 karat gold means pure gold. Only gold is present. Only gold, AU. But 22 karat means 22 karat means 22 carats of gold plus 2 carats of copper will be there, because to increase the strength. If pure gold, it will bend easily because it is soft in nature. So like biscuits, gold biscuits and all, they will store in 24 carats, but ornaments and all, basically 22 carats only it will come, because it should be, life should be strong, long life should come. That is the reason. Okay, so that is what we can use. Even basically all the people, all the girls will buy, that is 22 karat gold one. So making jewelry and decorative pieces, for example, if you take gold and silver, they are making gold and silver, even including copper, we are using in making jewelry, because Vaira, gold and silver, majorly we will use this gold and silver only. Platinum is also,
They are lustrous in nature.
also having surplus money, because they are having a very, very bright surface. What is that? Very, very bright and shiny surface. That is the reason why we are using this one. Because of the shiny appearance of metals, make them good reflectors of light. That is, you should remember. Because of this shiny, they are bright and shiny. So because of that, what will happen? When the light will fall on them, you may notice it. Gold chain, if the light will fall, it will start reflecting. Is this Kevin, Humaira? That is the reason why we make, and it will make the people to attract. Correct or not? Those who are wearing, you may be see some kind of bride, they used to wear full jewelry throughout the neck and throughout the chest and etc etc. There, when they are sitting and standing under certain kind of that lights, their face is used to reflect like anything. Correct or not? Because these ornaments will reflect the light, because they have a shiny appearance, so that they will be good reflectors of what will happen. Highly polished surface, you may be notice it, because these all are very, very bright and shiny surface, and we can polish them. Correct or not? So highly polished one, you may be studied in mirrors in physics. If they are polished surface, good reflectors or bad reflectors? Please respond me. They are good reflectors of light. Is it yes or no? Please respond me. Good reflectors of light, because of their highly polished surfaces. So if you take here more than gold, the best reflector of light, the best or excellent reflector of light. Anybody? What is the metal? Which metal is the best or excellent reflector of light? I want to answer. Excellent reflector of light. Anybody? Excellent reflector of light. Which metal? Respond, Ra. Excellent reflector of light is what?
Silver.
That is the reason. If you will buy a mirror, back side of mirror is coated with what, guys? Is coated with what, guys? Silver.
Silver.
Why? Why? That is the reason. This is what the exam they will ask you. CBSE. CBSE wants, this is a practical oriented knowledge. Understand? So excellent reflector of light is silver. That is the reason why it is used in making what? Making mirrors. Understand, guys? So CBSE will ask you like these questions only, because they want the real life applications, practical oriented knowledge, skill based education. Remember that. So making mirrors, because of it is an excellent reflector. So if we take here, the metal has a shining surface when only it is freshly cut. Understanding? So every metal, if you take for example iron is shining surface, silvery color shining surface only when it is cut with the understanding axe blade or knife, because once it is exposed to the atmosphere, they will get corrode. What will happen, guys? They will get corrode. Is it yes or no? Please respond me. Means in the sense of they will lose their brightness and they will become dull in appearance. So most of the metals like this only happen. So metal has a shining surface when, guys? Metal has shining surface. Please respond me. Shining surface only when it is cut freshly. Understanding? When it is freshly cut the surface. Understanding? Even gold also, but gold is less reactive metal. That is why it will take time to corrode. But if you take some kind of zinc, iron, magnesium, etc., aluminium, they are all easily copper. They will corrode easily and they will lose their shining surfaces. Understand? So the metals lost their shine or brightness on keeping on air for a long period of time. Means they will react with the moisture and oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. You maybe have studied already rusting of iron or corrosion, first chapter. Is it yes, guys? Respond me, please. Yes.
sir.
So if they will expose free to the atmosphere, do you understand, Ra? So the metals will react with what, Ra? They will react with the moisture and moist air. You can remember, moist air means in the sense of which contains water vapor, oxygen, etc., and they will form water. Which reaction will take place? Oxidation or reduction reaction? Oxygen is reacting. Elmati. So metals react with the moist air and their reaction. Which reaction is taking place, guys? Oxidation reaction will take place. So this oxidation reaction only what we should call? We have some name. What is that called as? What is that called as? Corrosion. What we should call? Corrosion. So because of this corrosion, metals lost their understanding, shiny surface. So again, if I want to get back this shiny surface, what I should do, guys? I have to rub with the sandpaper, or else I have to cut the surface again with the help of some kind of cutters. Is yes or no? Please respond me. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, some metals they will form a thin layer of oxidation. Means they will form what, guys? What they will form? The thin layer of oxides will form. Is yes or no? For example, aluminium oxide, iron oxide, etc., Correct or not? Please respond me. Nobody will respond. Iron oxide. Also see, suppose if we'll take copper. Copper will form what? You may be tell. Copper will never form copper oxide. Copper will form some other thing. Anybody? Copper will form what? Copper carbonate. Have you remembered? Copper carbonates. Yes or no? Copper hydroxides and copper carbonates. Respond me. They will form copper carbonates. Understand? Carbonates they will form. And some they will form sulfides. Understand? So like this, mixed products they will form. That is what we can say corrosion. So because of this, they will lose their shining or bright surfaces. So this property we can say at that situation, once they will react with the atmosphere and they will form a layer of oxide or carbonates or sulfides, we can say these metals are what is happening, guys? They have been corroded. What they have been?
Corroded.
They have been corroded. Understand, Kevin, Kimaira, Elmati, everybody, Pranav? Been corroded. That is what you should remember. Now, if you'll observe here, if you'll rub with the understanding, if you'll rub this dull surface of metal object with water, again I want to remove this. I want to get back shining surface. With what paper I have to rub? What paper I have to rub? I have to rub with the sandpaper. Everybody remember, I have to rub with what? Sandpaper. Then the outer corroded layer, this layers has been removed. Understanding, guys? This layers has been removed with the help of water, sandpaper. Then again they become shiny. Again they become shiny and they will bright once again. Or else if you cut with a knife, then they will bright the surface. That is what. So if you remove, understanding, remove these things with the help of sandpaper, again they will start. Again they will start what, guys? Again they will start bright. That is bright once again. That is you should remember. So this is the what? A property. Fifth property of metals. That is what we can say. Metals are lustrous and also they can be what? Polished. Understand? Prasini, Yalni, Dilipan. Dilipan is not there. Yes or no? That is clear. Akilar Fan, Varshini, Padmavarshini. That is. Jessica not there. Call her. That is, so this is what the fifth property. Now, if you understand the fifth property, then go for sixth property of metals. So now you tell me, metals are generally what? They are hard in nature or soft in nature? Suppose I will ask you iron or I will ask you gold. I will ask
Hard
them,
in nature.
ask you people to break it into 10 pieces. Is it possible to break, Kevin, Pranita, Tarani? No. Because metals are very hard in nature. Yes or no? But some exemption is there. I have taught you in class 8th also. So, hey, call to Dina. Dina is absent. Arun Karthikeyan is absent. Please inform them. Jesse is not there. Tell them to join. Karthikeyan, are you there in meeting? Please respond me. That is. So, if you observe here, metals are generally hard. Metals are generally hard in nature. Okay. Are Bhumika is also not there. Anusri, are you there? Anusri, Bhumika. Good morning, Arya. Inform them, right, please. So metals are generally hard, but except two metals. Anybody, Pranav? Can you say the two metals? Except
Sodium and potassium.
Yeah, very good, Mitra. Except sodium and potassium. I am writing names here, chemical symbols only. You should remember. So metals are generally hard except sodium and potassium. So if you take here, most of the metals are hard, but all the metals are not equally hard. Do you understand, guys? Suppose the strength of the gold and iron, is it same? Both are having same hardness? Please respond me. Is it same hardness? All the metals are, most of the metals are hard, but that hardness is not equal. That is what you should remember. So you remember, most of the metals, everybody will say all the metals are hard in nature, but that hardness is not equal. That is, you should remember. So most of the metals are hard, but all the metals are not equally hard, For example, if you take, the hardness varies from one metal to another metal. Now, if you take most of the metals like iron, understanding, example, if you take iron, next copper, next one, aluminium, if you take like this, etc., all this you can see, they are very, 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 very hard. What is that? Very, very hard. You can see iron is most hardest metal. That is why we are using in manufacturing some kind of a very hard materials. Is it yes, guys? Please respond me. So these kind of things, it is not possible to cut with water. Not possible to cut with what? Is it possible to cut with a knife? Not possible to cut with a knife. Do you understand, guys? Please respond. Because they are very hard in nature. But some exemption is there. So if you take two metals, well-known metals for us, what is that metals?
Sodium.
Metals. Yes, sodium and potassium. If you take exemption, these are easily cut with a knife.
We can cut them,
Very
sir.
sharp understanding, easily cut with a knife because they are not hard enough. That is what you have to remember. So if you take understanding, for example, if you take a piece of copper and if you try to cut with a knife, it is not possible to cut. You will find that a piece of iron, it is also not possible to cut with a knife because iron and copper are very hard in nature. But if you take sodium metal and understanding, but you should not hold with the hand. Why sodium and potassium you should not hold it in hand? Anybody? We have to always hold with a pair of tongues. Means some kind of a holders will be there. With the help of that only we should hold sodium and potassium. Why? Anybody can say. Why we should not hold with the hand? Please respond me. Because first chapter itself I said they are the highly reactive metals. Yes, very good. Somebody is answering in chat. Who is this? Yeah, Yalmati, very good. They are highly reactive. Others, I don't know what happened. They are highly reactive elements. If you touch with the hand, even exposed to the atmosphere also, they will catch fire. Yes or no? That is why this sodium and potassium, where we will store, Kevin, where we will store always? We will store
Kerosene oil. Kerosene oil.
Kerosene oil.
with water, they will react with atmosphere also. But if these metals, if we'll try to hold it with a pair of tongues and make it dry, understanding by pressing between the folds of filter paper, because it is always stored in the corrosion. So you have to make it dry. And if you'll see, if we'll try to cut with a knife, so we can find that a piece of sodium metal can easily cut into small pieces. And we have to take that knife. That knife also must be dry knife. Why, guys? Why it must be dry knife? Anybody? A knife must be dry. Anybody can say why it must be dry?
Because
It is moist, it will react with sodium.
Moisture, very good, Kevin. Very good, Dina. It will, if it is having moisture, it will react with that and it will catch the fire. That is why this sodium and potassium, very careful. We have to hold with always pair of tongues. That is what we can say, like a spoon. It will be. We have to hold it like a tongues. Understanding? Like your kitchen, you are holding the bowls nowadays. We are getting correct or not? Like that, we have to hold it. That is what regarding this one. So this is the sixth property. But you remember, most of the properties of non-metals, physical properties, is disobeyed by this only. Okay, guys? These two metals are most, if you take good conductors of electricity, good conductors of heat, understanding, shining in nature, etc., etc. Everything, every property, except what? Except sodium and potassium. What, understand, guys? Please respond me. Nobody will answer. Except sodium and potassium. So these are the metals where the physical properties of metals is not accepting all. That is what we can say always. Exception. Sodium and potassium are except. They are not following the physical properties of metals. But still they are behaving like a metals. That is why they are called as metals only. So this is what the sixth property. Any doubt, guys? Sixth property, please respond me. Now, if you'll understand this, they are enough hard. So, enough hard in the sense of they are having more strength or less strength. They are having more strength or less strength. Please respond me. They are having more strength. That is why you can see most of the metals we are using in construction of bridges, understanding, buildings, and etc., etc. because they are very strong in nature. Again, here also some exemption is there. What is that exemption, Padmavasini, Prahasini? What is that exemption? What is that exemption? Anybody? Arya? Please respond me. Metals are strong except two things. What is that? Please respond me. Except sodium and potassium. That is, you should remember. Here also exemption is there. Please note it down. Sodium and potassium. So here also if we'll take Bhumika, Harini, next Anusri, Akshaya, these fellows are absent, I think. Akshaya, are you there? Akshaya joined first itself. Harini also joined. Okay, that is. So metals are very, very strong except sodium and potassium. Remember this. So by saying that metals are very strong, so means in a sense of what do you mean by strong, guys? We have to use another word called as here. We should not use strong. We have to use another word which have been studied in class 8. Can anybody say what is that? Tensile strength.
Sir.
Tensile strength. What is the meaning of tensile strength? Anybody? Tensile strength
Means bond.
Tensile strength means holding capacity. Do you understand, guys? Means in the sense of they can resist larger weights. Means suppose you can take iron bridge, even train is passing on them, they will never break. Is it yes or no, guys? Respond me. Please respond.
Yes, sir.
That is what, why the rail grids and all. We will make railway lines, the girders, etc., etc. We will make with these metals only because they have very, very high tensile strength. What is that, guys? high tensile strength may except sodium and potassium. So what do you mean by tensile strength means? Hold large weights. What is that? Hold large weights. Understand? Without breaking. That is hold large weights. Hold large weights without what, Padmavarshini, Yalni, Dilipan, without breaking. And another word for breaking, I am giving you. This you remember. Understand? This is also we can call it as snapping. What we should call it? We should call it as snapping. Remember that. Snapping we should call. So this is what we can say. The seventh property of metals. Pranita, understand Pranita? Call to Jesse. And you can see, for example, if you take iron. Iron, if you mix with some form of alloy, very strong. More than iron, some other metal is very, very strong. What is that? Can anybody guess? It is an alloy. Example, if you take example, it is an alloy. Anybody can guess? It is start with a yes. In our home also you have. Nowadays everything, cooking utensils also coming the same thing. What is that? Silicon. No bowls are there you have in our home. Nitanath, wrong. Example, the strongest high tensile strength. Anybody example? Iron. So iron, but iron is not using directly. Do you have iron bowl? No. Iron is using in the form of some other thing. Anybody can guess? Alloys, I am saying you. Means mixture of metals. Silicon is also metal only, correct. I am asking alloy, not metalloid. Alloy means more than one metal is mixed together. That is what. So steel, very good. Who said that? Karthikeyan, very good. Give me a clap. So iron is mixed with the understanding copper, nickel, and magnesium, and they used to form a understanding a strong major percentage is iron. We are used to form an alloy called as what is that? Steel. Understand? So this steel is also two types: stainless steel and German steel. So stainless steel made with the four metals. Understanding? Iron is major percent, copper, nickel, and manganese. But German steel also contains carbon, the only alloy which contains the non-metal also. So this is the steel, you can see, very, very stronger. And why can't we use iron, sir? Iron is even corroded in nature. What is that, guys? It is very strong, but it is having what? Corrosion. Is it yes or no, guys? Please respond me. But if we'll make in the form of alloys, the strength is much more than iron, more stronger than metals, more stronger than metals, and as well as not corroded. What happened, guys? Not corroded. So that is why we can use iron in the form of steel, which is very, very, very strong. Due to this, iron metal is using in construction of bridges, buildings, rail lines, girders, missions, vehicles, chains, etc. So these all the things why we are using this iron means iron containing alloys, because they are very, very strong. So if you see, even though most of the metals are very strong, but the strength is not same for all the metals. Some are very, very strong. Some are normally strong, and except two metals, except the two metals are not quite enough. They are not at all strong. What is that metals, Ra? What is that metals? Please respond me. Iron if you take. What is that metals? Two metals are not strong. What is that? Sodium and potassium. So buildings, railway lines, girders, 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 missions, vehicles, but in the form of alloy. That is, you should remember, vehicles and chains, etc. All are prepared with a strong metal. So except sodium and potassium. They are not strong. So the strength is only what we should call tensile strength. Everybody should remember. What is this called as? Tensile strength. Understand? Nitish? Clear, Nitish? Everybody remember this? Okay. So this is what about it. Next, this is the seventh property. Any doubt? Anybody? Respond me. Now, if you'll understand this, then eighth property. What is the state of metals, Ra? Metals. Already this is not new things. What is the state of metals? All the metals are? All the metals are what? Solid state. But except one metal. What is that?
Mercury.
One metal. What is that? Mercury. That is what the eighth property. So metals are existed in only two states. Most of the metals are, what is that? Metals are solids. Understanding? At room temperature. This is what we want. So all the metals are solids at room temperature except one metal. This exemption only they will ask you in exam. So except what? Except mercury. Understand, Ra? Mercury. That symbol is Hg. Mercury is also coming for one more thing. Have you noticed it? Mercury is a poor conductor of electricity. Is it yes, guys? A poor conductor of electricity is not. Poor conductor of heat, I think. Is it yes, Ra? Poor, respond me. Poor conductor of heat, we have studied mercury is also example. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is exemption, you should remember that. Okay, so that is what you can write. So this is what except mercury. So you can see this eighth property. So if you take most of the metals, all the metals, understanding, all the metals like copper, iron, gold, silver, etc., etc., are in solid state. Solid state. At what temperature, guys? At what temperature? At room temperature. That is you should remember. Now, except mercury, except Hg, all are solids at room temperature. But mercury, what is the state of? Hg is in liquid state. Liquid state. That is you should remember. So this is. So Hg means what? Mercury. If you don't know, you should learn that. Symbol of mercury is Hg. Understand, Tina? Pranav? Dilipan? I think Dilipan is there. Okay. Yalni, that is what you should remember. So this is the eighth property. Next, ninth property. You may be notice it. Metals are very strong and they are solids at room temperature. So what about their boiling points and melting points? Anybody? Boiling points and melting points. Is it more or less? Please respond me.
The high melting point and
Melting points and boiling point. So metals are, or else metals have
High melting point.
high melting point, points and boiling points, except two metals. What is that?
the mercury.
What is that?
Mercury.
Not mercury. Mercury is also having high boiling point. You have to tell me. Except two metals, remind me.
Helium, sir.
What is
Except
that?
sodium and potassium. Except sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium.
Yeah. Understand?
Sodium and
Pradvasini?
potassium.
They're in meeting. Pranita, Rasini, Akhil Arfan, everybody. So metals have high melting points and boiling points, except sodium and potassium.
Sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium.
Except sodium and potassium. That is you should remember. Okay. Yalamati, you are saying gallium. Gallium is coming to liquid, not melting point and boiling point. They are soon going to hit a room temperature is increasing, so that they are becoming liquid state. Okay, Yalamati. Understand? That is. Kevin, understand, Kevin? So metals have high melting points, boiling points, except sodium and potassium. So for example, if we'll take highest melting point, iron. What is that, guys? Example, if we'll take iron, the melting point is 1535 degrees Celsius. Understand, Ra? So means in the sense of, if we'll heat a solid iron Understanding, and it will start melts and turns into liquid ion on heating a high temperature of how much, Ra? 1535 degrees Celsius. Same way if we'll take copper,